word of life.
Today we're going to break down one of the most foundational stories ever told. It's a story about one simple rule, one very tempting question, and a single choice that, well, it changes absolutely everything. So let's get right into it and see how this first disobedience unfolds step by step. So, right from the jump, the whole conflict doesn't start with a big, dramatic action. It starts with a question. And what a question it is. The serpent doesn't march in with a demand. It just slides in and plants this tiny seed of doubt, questioning the one and only rule they had. Okay, so that brings us to our first part, a serpent in the garden. This is where that single rule gets put to the test. And this right here, this is the heart of the conflict. On one side, you have the woman repeating the rules she was given. Don't even touch it or you'll die. Pretty straightforward. But then, look at what the serpent does. He doesn't just say, that's not true. He completely flips the script. He says, no, you're not going to die. In fact, your eyes will be opened. You'll be like gods. It's a total reframing, turning an act of disobedience into a path to enlightenment. So, with that incredible promise just hanging in the air, we move on to part 2, the forbidden fruit, and the pivotal decision that has to be made. What's so amazing is that the text actually walks us through her whole thought process. This wasn't just some sudden impulse. She reasons it out. First, there's the practical appeal. Hey, it looks like it's good for food. Then you've got the aesthetic appeal. It was just pleasant to look at. And finally, the one that probably sealed the deal, the intellectual appeal. The belief that this was the key to becoming wise. So, after weighing all of that, she does it. The text puts it so simply, she took and did eat. But then comes the really crucial part. She doesn't do it alone. She immediately shares it with her husband, who the text says was right there with her, and he eats too. The choice is now a shared one. So, what happens next? Well, the serpent was kind of right. Their eyes were opened, but maybe not in the way they were expecting. The immediate result wasn't some kind of godlike power. It was a sudden, jarring awareness of their own vulnerability. They realized they were naked, and their first instinct was to hide. And that feeling of shame and vulnerability leads us right into our next section, a voice and a question. The confrontation is about to begin. Now listen to the first words from God. It's not an accusation, it's not what have you done, it's a simple, calm question about location. Where are you? And Adam's answer tells you everything you need to know. He says he hid because he was afraid, because he was naked. He connects the fear directly to this new awareness. And that's when the questioning gets a lot more pointed. It zeroes right in on the real issue. It's basically, okay, how did you suddenly figure out you were naked? Let me guess, did you eat from the one tree I specifically told you not to eat from? This is the moment of truth. And what happens next? Oh, the classic blame game. It is so human, isn't it? Instead of taking any responsibility, the finger-pointing starts. Adam points to the woman, and he even gets a subtle dig in at God. The woman you gave me. Then, the woman turns and points to the serpent, saying she was tricked. Nobody, and I mean nobody, just says, you know what, I made a choice and I was wrong. All right, the excuses have been made, the blame has been passed around, and now it's time for Section 4, the 3 judgments. The consequences are officially delivered. And the consequences are incredibly specific, each one altering a core relationship. The serpent is cursed, creating a permanent conflict with humanity. For the woman, sorrow and pain are introduced into the process of childbirth, and the whole dynamic of her relationship with her husband is changed. And for the man, his relationship with the earth is completely broken. The ground itself is now cursed. From now on, survival is going to be a struggle, a lot of sweat and hard work, right up until the day he dies. And all of that brings us to the final, dramatic act of the story. Exiled from Eden. The gates are about to be closed for good. So why the exile? I mean, the damage is done, right? Well, the text gives us the exact reasoning. With humanity now knowing good and evil, there's a new risk. What if they reach out and eat from the tree of life and live forever in this new, broken state? The expulsion is almost a preventative measure to keep a bad situation from becoming a permanent one. And make no mistake, this conclusion is absolute. They aren't just asked to leave. The text says they are driven out. It's final, and the path back is sealed by some pretty serious security. Cherubim and a flaming sword guarding the way. The message couldn't be clearer. There is no going back. That chapter is closed. So this incredible story ends, But it leaves us with this massive, timeless question. They pursued knowledge, and they got it, but the price was paradise. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What is the real price of knowledge? And what's the difference between gaining wisdom and just facing the consequences?